In this video, I will be ranking every way that I could think of to travel in Minecraft, all the way from riding a pig to riding a horse. This is the ultimate Minecraft travel tier list, so if you like this video, then you are giving me free views and I'd really appreciate it. And the way this tier list works is we have 5 tiers: amazing, useful, okay, lacking, and pointless. And I'll be putting each travel method into one of these tiers. So without further ado, first up we got walking. When you first load into a Minecraft world, there are limitless possibilities, but it all starts with walking. Walking is pretty simple. You put one foot in front of the other and you're in business. Too slow? Want to go even faster? Start sprinting and you're instantly going 30% faster. Walking and sprinting are very useful, and unlike the others, this will always be there with you when you have absolutely nothing. It's what you use to punch your first tree and enslave your first villagers. But just when you thought all the fun was over, wait until you try pressing the spacebar. If you're sprinting while jumping, that boosts your effective movement by 66% as opposed to normal walking. It does take a good chunk of your hunger bar away, but as long as you have some food on you, this is an amazing travel method with unlimited uses. Sure, it's not the fastest method out there, but it's very useful, so I'll give it an amazing tier. Now for swimming. This is pretty much 3-dimensional walking because you're in the water, so in addition to going horizontally, you can also travel vertically. Just jump in a body of water and go forward. Sprint swimming is 30% faster than normal walking, and you have a chance to come across shipwrecks. However, boats are significantly faster than swimming, and now that we have chest boats, swimming is pretty pointless unless it's in the early game. But all things considered, the swimming mechanics that we have now are much better than what they used to be back in my day. These youngsters don't know how good they have it. They made swimming a much more enjoyable form of travel since there's thousands of different kinds of fish to see, as well as some coral reefs. So while it may not be the fastest or most efficient method of traveling in Minecraft, it's still good if you want to explore the game and have a little bit of fun. So I'll go swimming in OK tier. Minecarts are another form of travel that's more of a novelty than anything else, but I would still say it's worth mentioning. Everyone who's played Minecraft has probably rode in a minecart at one point or another. Back when I started playing, the coolest thing someone could do is build a giant roller coaster, and in fact, I think that's the first thing I built all the way back in 2014, which was about a decade ago. Probably longer than some of you have been alive, but I'll try not to think about that too much. Minecarts used to be a quick, fun form of transportation that could quickly take you up or down in elevation, but since the Elytra was added, minecarts have kind of become obsolete and are rarely used for their intended purpose. But wait, I had this script in my arsenal for quite a while, and in that time, Mojang finally made minecarts faster. Now, to be fair, it's only in the snapshots, and it's a game rule command to increase or decrease the speed. But still, it's a start. Maybe they'll make minecarts just a little bit faster. Maybe they'll finally be a valid form of transportation. So as they currently stand, they're fun and enjoyable, but as far as travel methods go, I think that's on par with swimming. So I'll give it an OK tier. The pig is a very unique way to travel that I don't see anyone using nowadays. If any of you Gen Alpha kids didn't know, if you find a pig in the wild, you can put a saddle on it and hop on the pig's back. At first it will just move around however it wants to, but if you take a carrot on a stick and hold it in front of the pig's face, then it will go wherever the carrot goes. Pigs are pretty simple creatures. They see carrot, they follow carrot. But the fun part is, they'll never reach the carrot because they're only being used as a method of transport. And another fun thing you can do with them is ride your pig off a cliff. I'm not even kidding, this used to be an achievement called When Pigs Fly. And I did a little research and I found out that it's not still in the game because apparently it's not a good idea to teach children to push small animals off of high places. But circling back to the transportation, the pig does technically transport you, but at this point it's not really worth it because sprinting is basically the same thing, just a lot more reliable than the pig. Sorry, but it's going in the pointless tier. Horses are kinda like pigs, but they're actually designed for transportation. Since they were first added, they've always been good to have around if you just want to go on a short trip somewhere and need a ride. Horses are very common animals, and they can be pretty fast depending on your luck. Horse speed used to be linked to color, but someone at Mojang thought it was just a little bit too accurate to have the black horses be the fastest. So now there's all sorts of factors like jump height, top speed, health points, and they're all completely random, so you can't racially profile them like the good old days. Once you find a suitable horse that meets your standards, you can try and tame it by riding the horse. Horses don't really like strangers jumping on their backs, you gotta do it a few times before they get to know you. Once they're familiar with you, you can put a saddle and some horse armor if you have it. Horse armor works similar to dog armor or people armor, where it doesn't take as much damage so you can get more mileage out of it. And again, I know it's not the fastest, and most other transportation doesn't wander away if you don't tie a rope around its neck, but horses are pretty cool, so I'll give them a useful tier. Flying is an interesting one because I'm not referring to the typical Elytra flying, but rather the creative mode flying. I don't have too much to say about this one, but it works for what it needs to do, but it's not really that exciting. When you find a black or very dark brown horse and force it to like you or ride a pig off a cliff, that's fun. Being able to move anywhere in a 3-dimensional plane without any consequences whatsoever is just kinda boring. For creative building, it's good, but I'm not a builder, and I don't really care. Lacking tier. I touched on boats briefly earlier when I talked about swimming. Boats are very easy to obtain, only requiring some wood, and it's one of the best early game travel methods. If you find a large body of water and have some wood at your disposal, you can travel thousands of blocks with relative ease. Boats have unlimited power, and they aren't too slow considering how cheap they are. In the current version of Minecraft, there are tons of different wood types, which means you can make a boat out of any color that you want. And once you have a boat, you can go exploring without having to worry about taking down your hunger or getting damaged. But the main thing that boats have going for them is the fact that chest boats exist. It makes a lot of sense, because when you're riding in a boat, you're usually exploring and gathering a lot of junk, so it would be good to have a place to put all of it. And that's not even to mention ice boat highways, which is where you get a bunch of packed or blue ice if you're rich and have no life, and arrange it in a pathway, allowing you to reach unheard of speeds. So for that, I'll give boats a high useful tier. Striders are kinda like the pigs of the nether. They have a very similar concept, because all you need is to slap a saddle on them and dangle a warp fungus on a stick in front of their face, and they'll start going. But I would say that the main difference is that Striders are extremely slow on land, but on the lava, you can start zooming. If you start waving your stick in its face even harder, you'll get a speed boost for a few seconds and really start moving. Striders are great for riding across large lava lakes, which would be hard to cross otherwise. For some reason, boats don't seem to do too well in lava. Just be careful when you're dismounting from the Strider, because there have been plenty of times where I've accidentally gotten off and fallen straight into the lava. They do kinda have a niche use case, but they're pretty handy when you need them. So I'll give Striders an okay tier. The Elytra is probably the most common method of travel nowadays because it's literally wings. All you need to do to get them is load up a world, punch a tree, get some iron, make some armor, make a nether portal, travel to the nether fortress, kill some blazes, kill a bunch of endermen, or barter with the pigs from the hood, and then travel back to the overworld. Find a stronghold, find the portal, light the portal, travel to the 3rd dimension, slay the boss of the game, find a gateway, walk for a while, find a city, realize the city sucks, find a better city, climb to the top, carefully bridge to the pirate ship full of mobs that'll make you levitate, and grab the Elytra. It's a really simple process when you think about it. But moving on, Elytras are one of the most efficient methods of travel when paired with firework rockets because it's basically just a jetpack. All you gotta do is jump off something and start flying. It's pretty self-explanatory and it's faster than most travel methods in the game. So I gotta give it an amazing tier. Ender pearls are very interesting because I rarely use them in the normal game, but on PvP servers they're a necessity. But since this video is just about normal Minecraft, I won't glaze the ender pearls too hard. They only drop from endermen or can be bartered from piglins, so they can be a little bit tricky to get for new players. But once you do get your hands on them, you can teleport pretty far away in just a few seconds. Like I said earlier, this is very useful for PvP, but isn't super practical in a normal survival world. And the other thing that takes them down a few notches is the fact that you take damage when using them, so it's hard to make a strong case for them. I'll put the ender pearls in a lacking tier. Chroot is a very unique item because many of you probably never heard of this. It's not typically considered transportation, but if I didn't include it, I know there's going to be that one guy in the comment section. So what the Chroot does is it teleports you somewhere in a relatively small radius. This might sound pretty pointless, but if you're stuck in lava or bedrock or somewhere else, it can help you get unstuck. If you're exploring a cave, it can also help you find little pockets that you might have missed. Now to actually get the Chroot is almost as hard as getting the Elytra because you gotta go to the outer end islands. These islands have these tall purple plants that when broken drop some chorus fruit, so it's not super practical but not completely pointless. I'll give the chorus fruit a lacking tier. And finally, last but not least, TNT cannons. These can come in all different shapes and sizes and launch you thousands of blocks into the sky in less than a second. One thing I don't like about them is sometimes they don't work in survival because Mojang always changes the TNT physics. So sometimes they work fine and other times it just blows you up. But as far as the technology itself goes, they're pretty cool, but not super practical. Even if it did work in survival all the time, you still gotta set it up, load it with TNT, and all that does is get you above the clouds really fast. Not super worth it in my opinion. So I'm gonna give TNT a pointless tier. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Go drink some water, please subscribe.